There are several reports indicating that former United States President Donald Trump's trade policies could lead to retaliatory tariffs from other countries, potentially impacting the U.S. economy. The Global Times, a Chinese state-run newspaper, warned that the United States will face high tariffs imposed by other countries, which could harm its economy. According to a Reuters report, since returning to office, Trump has engaged in trade conflicts with China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. It is expected that the United States will impose a series of additional tariffs on imports from these countries, which are scheduled to take effect on April 2nd. China has already taken countermeasures, including tariffs on United States agricultural products, food, and other goods, as well as restrictions on United States companies operating in China. Beijing is expected to respond swiftly to any new tariffs imposed by the United States, while other countries may also impose high tariffs on United States exports to protect their own interests. Additionally, China is planning to support foreign companies operating within its borders to minimize economic impacts. A Guardian report highlighted that the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, warned that Trump's trade wars could disrupt global economic growth and contribute to inflation. The report downgraded economic growth forecasts for the United States, Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and China for the current and upcoming years. The OECD emphasized that rising trade tensions, especially Trump's plan to impose high tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, could further worsen the situation, potentially pushing Mexico into an economic downturn and negatively impacting Canada and the United States. The report urged governments to cooperate to avoid escalating trade restrictions that could harm living standards. Similarly, news.com.au reported that Trump's tariff policies could hurt the U.S. economy, particularly industries such as automobiles, housing construction, oil refining, and retail. The imposed tariffs are expected to increase production costs for American companies, leading to inflation and slowing economic growth. A Wall Street Journal report stated that rising U.S. tariffs on imported goods could slow global economic growth and increase inflation. Additional tariffs could even trigger a major economic downturn. The report projected that global economic growth would decline to 3.1% in 2025 and 3% in 2026, down from the previous forecast of 3.3%. Similarly, the U.S. economy was expected to grow by 2.2% in 2025 and 1.6% in 2026, slightly below earlier projections. A Times report highlighted that the OECD downgraded the UK's economic forecast due to escalating global tariff wars driven by Trump's administration. The UK's annual GDP growth forecast was revised down by 0.3 percentage points this year to 1.4% and 0.1 percentage points next year to 1.2%. The report urged nations to address internal concerns within the global trade system to avoid economic decline and worsening living conditions. Additionally, a Newsweek report predicted that if a full-scale trade war occurs, including a 60% tariff on Chinese goods and a 10% tariff on imports from all other countries, China could lose an estimated $125.3 billion in 2025 and 2026, while Europe could lose $124.8 billion. Furthermore, a CBS News report indicated that experts were concerned about new U.S. tariffs scheduled to take effect on March 4th, which could lead to severe economic consequences.